स्वागत करते हैं जी एक बार फिर आप सब ਦਾ ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਇਸ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਾਥ ਦੇਣਗੇ ਸਰੀਨਾ ਨਿਊਨ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ ਸਾਡੇ ਮਹਿਮਾਨ ਹਨ ਤੇ ਐਡੀਟਰ ਇਨ ਚੀਫ ਹਨ ਵੈਨ ਸਿਟੀ ਵੇਬ ਦੇ। ਇਹ ਇੱਕ ਡਿਜੀਟਲ ਮੈਗਜ਼ੀਨ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਡਿਜੀਟਲ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਚੇਂਜਸ ਆ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਉਸ ਸੰਬੰਧ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਲੈਣੇ ਆਏ ਹੋਏ ਮਹਿਮਾਨ ਤੋਂ। ਵੈਲਕਮ ਟੂ ਦ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ।
Hi, thank you for having me.
Thank you. So a little bit about yourself. You're the editor in chief of this digital magazine.
Yes.
What is this Van City Babe?
Well, Van City Babe is it's a digital platform for Vancouver women to share their knowledge,
Right.
And to also to learn as well from other Vancouver women.
So what kind of things are put forward in this magazine?
So we have any issues that are related to women that women might be interested in.
Okay.
So we have hair and makeup, information, education about that, and we also have business, finance. We have mortgage. We even have arts and culture.
Okay.
We do have a local resident artist who curates local Vancouver art
Okay.
for women to enjoy and to learn as well.
How has digital world changed over the years? Like online and now print. Where do we stand?
Well, I actually used to work for a magazine, Files News magazine, a couple of years ago.
Okay.
I started with them. I was a writer, and then I moved to being an editor. And it's the problem with being in print these days is that it's hard to access. It's
Right.
difficult to access, especially if you are always moving or traveling. It can be difficult depending on, especially if you're a local publication like
Right.
Files was. There are many local publications, and they're not available at every single newsstand. They're not available everywhere unless you're a big national
Right.
company. So if you are local, you're not on the scale that the big
It's
publications
difficult to
are on.
survive also.
Exactly, yeah. And also on top of that, it's expensive.
Right.
It's very expensive to be in print. The
Right.
costs are very high, and so that's why everybody's moving to digital.
Right, and fast accessibility, as you said, nobody has the time now. And apart from that, what do you think? What is the future of the print side now, the newspapers or the magazines? Because as the world is changing now, on your smartphone you can access everything. So why would you spend money, that much money, whereas you can get an online edition much cheaper, and wherever you are, you can utilize that. So with your experience, what do you foresee? What's going to happen in the future?
I honestly think that there's still a place for print eventually, because there are still people who enjoy being in print, and there is a certain status that comes to being in print and being published,
Right.
On hard copy. But in terms of accessibility, I mean, it's everything is moving towards digital.
Right,
Yeah.
and especially the younger generation, they are
Exactly.
always on the move with the smartphones.
Exactly. I mean, that can be accessed from anywhere, and not only with digital copies of, say, a magazine or an article. Not only can you access it from anywhere, but you can keep it forever.
Right.
You can save it onto a cloud, and it doesn't matter if your house burns down or if it floods. You
Right.
still have that on your cloud, and you can access it from any computer, any phone, anywhere you want at any time.
Right. And Serena, on the other hand, what do you think is going to happen now that we find as journalists? What happens is that in the print, is there some difference between a person who has been working in the print, and as you have worked in the print also, now you're working for a digital magazine? What difference do you find? And also, as far as your salaries are concerned and other things are concerned, because through advertisements, the print media survives and has been surviving. But as far as the digital is concerned, everybody wants to have access for free. So how is this going to have an impact in future for the digital world also?
Well, I think that in terms of costs, digital copies, digital anything really, there are other costs associated with it. It's not free as everybody thinks that it is. It does cost money to run,
Right.
but of course the costs are lower, right?
Right.
The costs are lower than actually being in print. So it is easier for somebody to, say, get paid what they want to be paid, because you're not spending like tens of thousands of dollars on
Right.
publishing and paper, and also it's being in print is especially difficult because everything has to be perfect the first time around.
Right.
Whereas if you are a digital publication, you can go back and you can fix something instantly. You know, if you know you have a typo or something went wrong. You know, or you need to change something. Whereas if you're in print, that copy exists forever, and to change it costs thousands of dollars. Whereas, yeah.
So it's different.
Yeah, it's quite different. It's a little bit more permanent.
Right,
yeah, I mean, you know, for example, with my website, I mean, I can go in and change something within 5 minutes if I really wanted to. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
What about blogging as such? You know, like bloggers are also coming up in a big way now, and they have their own sites where people can go and read those. When we compare it with magazines like yours, Vancity Buzz, where you're focusing only on the women, their issues, and bringing forward their strengths and weaknesses and whatnot. So, how do you compare that?
Well, with blogging, blogging is a little bit different. I mean, you know, being an online magazine, you have many different contributors. You know, usually when you say blog, people think of you know, one person, you know, contributing and writing all of the material, and doing all of the work, right? Whereas when you're an online publication, when you're a magazine, or when you're you know, a news online news, you know, you have many different contributors, and I think that's the main difference, is that, you know, once you get to the point where you have more than just one perspective, more than one point of view on your publication, then you could be considered, you know, more of a magazine. Right. Yeah.
Wonderful. Saranika, it was a pleasure talking to you. But before you go, if anybody wants to contribute to your online magazine, what is your website address and how they can contact you?
Sure. It's www.vancitybabe.com. So VANCITY.com. Sorry.
Babe.com.
BABE.com.
Right.
Yes, and you know, you can, anybody, we actually have a section called Letters to the Editor. There isn't anything up yet because we just launched yesterday.
Right.
You know, so we haven't actually had any feedback yet. But you know, if they want to contribute, or if they would like to ask any questions, they can visit the site, they can comment on any of the articles, or they can send me an email directly to editor-in-chief@vancitybabe.com.
Thank you very much, and best wishes.
Thank you very much for having me.
Welcome. ਸੋ ਅੱਜ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕੀਤੀ, ਉਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਸੈਰਨਿਕਾ ਨਿਊਮਨ ਨੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਕਿ ਆਨਲਾਈਨ ਵਰਲਡ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੱਕ ਡਿਜੀਟਲ ਮੈਗਜ਼ੀਨ ਜੋ ਚਲਾ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ, ਜਿਸ ਦਾ ਨਾਮ ਹੈ ਵੈਨਸਿਟੀ ਬੇਬ। ਇਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹ ਔਰਤਾਂ ਦੀ ਕੰਟਰੀਬਿਊਸ਼ਨਸ ਲਈਆਂ ਜਾਂਦੀਆਂ ਨੇ। ਕਿਸੇ ਵੀ ਫੀਲਡ ਵਿੱਚ ਜੇ ਕੁਝ ਕੋਈ ਲਿਖਣਾ ਚਾਹਣ ਤਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਮੌਕਾ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ। ਆਨਲਾਈਨ ਪ੍ਰਿੰਟਿੰਗ ਤੇ ਡਿਜੀਟਲ ਪ੍ਰਿੰਟਿੰਗ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੁਣ ਫਰਕ ਪੈਂਦਾ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ। ਲੋਕਾਂ ਕੋਲ ਸਮਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਪ੍ਰਿੰਟ ਮੈਗਜ਼ੀਨਸ ਨੂੰ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਪੜ੍ਹਨ, ਪਰ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਤੇਜ਼ੀ ਨਾਲ ਟੈਕਨੋਲੋਜੀ ਬਦਲ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ, ਉਸ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਇਹ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਹੁਣ ਆਨਲਾਈਨ ਹੋ ਰਹੀਆਂ ਨੇ। ਬਲੌਗਿੰਗ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਇੱਕ ਵਿਅਕਤੀ ਜੋ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਬਲੌਗ ਲਿਖ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈ, ਲੇਕਿਨ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇੱਕ ਡਿਜੀਟਲ ਮੈਗਜ਼ੀਨ ਹੈ ਉਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੱਖਰੇ ਵੱਖਰੇ ਕੰਟਰੀਬਿਊਟਰਸ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ। ਆਉਣ ਵਾਲੇ ਸਮੇਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਚੱਲਦਾ ਤਾਂ ਰਹੇਗਾ ਪ੍ਰਿੰਟ ਮੀਡੀਆ, ਲੇਕਿਨ ਕਾਫੀ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਇਸ ਨੂੰ ਅਸਰ ਪਏਗਾ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਆਨਲਾਈਨ ਹੀ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾਤਰ ਲੋਕ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ। ਇਸ ਦੇ ਖਰਚੇ ਵੀ ਘੱਟ ਨੇ ਅਤੇ ਪਹੁੰਚ ਵੀ ਜੋ ਹੈ ਮੱਚ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਹੈ। ਇਸ ਤੋਂ ਇਲਾਵਾ ਜੇਕਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਵੀ ਕੋਈ ਲੇਡੀ ਜੇਕਰ ਕੰਟਰੀਬਿਊਟ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹਣ ਤਾਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਸੰਪਰਕ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾ ਸਕਦਾ। ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਵੈਬਸਾਈਟ ਹੈ www.vancitybabe.com।